Hey guys, hey. You know what time it is? It's time for a recap. Okay. Haven't done one of these in a while, I don't know why I'm talking so loud. I'm trying to get this done in 10 minutes, guys. We're gonna try. Even though, like, the last few times it's been like 20 minutes each recap. But okay, here we go. So, first major note on my little notepad here for the recap is I'm not dead. That's a good thing, right? I have come back. I am back. I have been filming all along. So what you're seeing isn't just me going in one day and like filming them all. I really do film every day, a minute to 5 to 10 minutes per day, and make clips. So that is my project. That's what I want to do for the entire year, is to really capture at least a minute of every day. So that is happening, and I finally caught up. Thank God. So it took a while, but I did it. So that happened. And that's probably going to be the flow of the clips from here out, probably. I think there's going to be a brief period in the summer where it's pretty, it's more up to date. That's the word I was looking for. I'm sorry, brain freeze. I'm exhausted, but yeah, it'll be more up to date. I think towards the end in August because I have a brief break, a little break there. So which will be so nice, honest. Um, so yes, that's kind of the flow of the clips. Secondly, is end of semester. Okay, yes. Okay, so I know in the last recap I was going on about how I was going to be stressed as fuck and it was just going to be awful. It really wasn't that bad. Honest, it went by so quickly and it really wasn't that stressful. It was just sort of a climax. It just sort of went in the regular mode of things. It wasn't, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I have a 10-page paper. It was just like, oh, okay, this is the last class. There's a speaker, final next week. Cool. So it wasn't too bad. I didn't celebrate though. I really did. I wanted to celebrate with my friend, and then that didn't work out because timing. And then I got home and I found out that my grandmother died. So that wasn't really fun at all, to say lightly. But I was very happy that finals were over. And it's really funny because I already knew that the plans with my friend weren't going to work out. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just go home. And my brother, was it my brother? Yeah. My brother picked me up and we got home and I went in the garage and I told my dad, I don't think my dad's like, or dad, I don't think dad is really gonna be, himself or as upbeat, or he might be a little bit agitated because grandma's not doing well. And my brother's like, oh, okay. And we get up in the house and my father was like very disgruntled and tells us that she passed away. So it was kind of just ironic almost that I had just said that before we knew. Um, and I had always kind of been more optimistic and hoping that she would be around longer. But obviously we're not God, and God has a different plan for us, and she's in a better place, and um, she's a lot more happy now. So um, we'll miss her greatly, but she's much better off where she is. Um, Work is okay. It's a lot better than the last recap. That was definitely a stressful period, I would say. There's still a lot changing. The first job that I have, we do still have a lot of management flux. We got, I think, two or one more manager that's new. The company is still hurting, so what actually is where the chips are gonna fall are kind of, it's unbalanced. So who knows? But, I'm just keep chucking. I mean, if I can keep this until the end of college, I'll be happy. Um, but I think my other job, it's really kind of laxed out a little bit. Summer's coming, so making sales may be a little bit more easy if we can get outside and like kind of get people to come in. So it hasn't been too bad. And my boss, me and her kind of talked it out, and we kind of were at a good place. So hopefully that remains to be how that goes. Um, Talked about that. So my grandmother did pass away, my last final, and it's actually also ironic because my film midterm, my great grandmother passed away, and then my film final, my grandmother passed away. So I was like, holy shit! Another reason why I'm happy to be done with that class. Oh my gosh! But yeah. So Mother's Day was a little bit hairy for that reason. We basically spent that weekend planning and going to the wake and the funeral, which I have to say, compared to, again, like other funerals or wakes, it was definitely challenging for me. Not to say that I like the other people. I mean, it's not sad whenever you go to a wake or a funeral. Obviously, it is. It's devastating, and there have been some really sad ones I've been to, and one where I didn't cry, where I was like, it took every muscle in my body not to just burst into tears because it was the saddest thing I think I've ever witnessed. It was the saddest, but it was also the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed. I'm convinced the girl's a saint, but honest, she's she was literally like an angel. Um, but nonetheless, is for whatever reason this death in particular just really struck me, and it's not to say that I was extremely close to my grandmother like other people in my family were. Like I almost feel like I don't have the right to say that. But she still was a really big part of my life, and she was just an extraordinary person, and she was the kind of person where if you met her, it was very hard not to love her. She was just a warm person. So it was very difficult for me to to um sort of realize that it really happened. Like, as long as I didn't see her in her coffin, like, laid out, I could just pretend she was still at home in her chair and nothing had changed. But actually having to go there and say goodbye, in an earthly sense, obviously, say goodbye was difficult for me. More than, again, others had been in the past. And it meant a lot of change. She was sort of the glue in her family, so um, it sort of changes how we connect with each other. And further, you know, um, illuminates or alludes to this whole idea of it's a marker, it's a change in my life, it's a change in my father's life and his friends and his family and in obviously his us as well. That idea that we're no longer kids crawling around her kitchen floors. Now we're adults, we're all adults, and we're going our separate ways, and my parents are getting older now, and so it's kind of like the circle of life is continuing, and um, it's going in a place where it wasn't before, I think. And that's sort of, that reality is sort of clicking with my grandmother passing on. And I think, she lived a great life. She lived until she was 90. Um, and my father always said, she felt like she had to be strong for everyone else. But, there comes a point in time, and this is sort of part of love where we have to let her go. Um, and that's not to say, like, we're, like, supporting, like, time for grandma to hit the bucket. But, like, just saying, like, in more of a natural sense. Like, she doesn't, we have to kind of respect where she is in her life and, take on our roles where our lives are going, I guess. I don't really know how to say it the right way. But, I think death is a natural part of life. When it's when it is natural, you know, or you're at your natural end, it's natural part of life. Yeah. And, I think part of that is we can, like, try to hold on and try to hold on, but sometimes we just have to let go. And I think that that's almost, in a way, a sign of love and a sign of trust in God. Um, and I think that's kind of the point of what my dad was trying to say. And it's time for them to be strong now and for them to grow into those roles where they are in their life. And same for me and for my sister and my brother and, my cousins and, where kind of we are in our life. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to never see each other anymore, but it almost feels like that's kind of where it's headed, and that makes me sad as well because family is such a huge part of who I am, and you know, it feels strange. I think change in time is just a weird thing. So that definitely hit me harder than I expected it to, and there wasn't anyone like my grandmother, you know. She was just a warm person. And whenever you were around her, you just felt calm, you felt warm. So, it was difficult. It was difficult. But also a part of life, and we love her, and she's in a better place. And we love God, and we love Jesus Christ, and she's in a great place, and we're going to see her again sometime. So, that is that. I made it 10 minutes, guys. That means I have to make part 2. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.